I'm reading Travels with my aunt. I've had a little bit of a break, and the internet always played up, so I hope this is going to be okay now. I actually finished, interrupted in the middle of a chapter 3 of the second part of this book about Henry Pulling, the retired bank manager, and his aunt Augusta, who we haven't seen for 50 years. He is on his way to Paraguay to meet her. I think he has arrived. No, he's not arrived yet. He's met a few people on a steamboat he'd been travelling on. And I continue now. After dinner, O'Toole suggested a drink in his cabin. I've got some good bourbon, he said, and though I've never been a spirit drinker, preferring a glass of sherry before a meal or a glass of port after it, I accepted his invitation, gladly, for it was our last night together on board. Again, the spirit of restlessness had taken over all the passengers in the ship, and they seemed touched with this kind of mania. In the salon, an amateur band had begun to play, and a sailor with hairy legs and arms, dressed inadequately as a woman, had whirled in a dance between the tables, demanding a partner. Now, in the captain's cabin, which was close to O'Toole, someone was playing the guitar, and a woman squealed. It wasn't what you had expected to hear from a captain's quarter. No one will sleep tonight, O'Toole remarked, pouring out the bourbon. If you don't mind, I said, a lot more soda. We've made it. I thought we were going to be stuck fast at Corrientes. The rain is damn late this year, and as though to soften his rebuke of the weather, there came a long peal of thunder, which almost drowned the music of the guitar. What did you think of Formosa? O'Toole asked. There wasn't much to see except the prison, a fine colonial building. Not so good inside, O'Toole said. A splash of lightning was flung over the wall and made the cabin lights flicker. Met a friend, didn't you? A friend? I saw you talking to a colonel guy. What was it that made me cautious, for I liked O'Toole? I said, oh, I wanted money. I didn't see you on shore. I was up on the bridge, O'Toole said, looking through the captain's glasses. He changed course abruptly. I can't get over you knowing my daughter, Henry. You can't imagine how I miss that girl. You never told me how she looked. She looked fine. She's a very pretty girl. Yeah, he said, so was her mother. If I ever married again, I'd marry a plain girl. He brooded a long time over the bourbon, and I looked around his cabin. He had made no attempt, as I had made the first day, to make it a temporary home. His suitcases lay on the floor, filled with clothes he had not bothered to hang them, a razor beside the washing basin, and a bantam book. Suddenly, the rain hit the deck outside his cloudburst. Oh, I think I can get rid of it here. There we are. Sorry about that. Let me block this. Wonders of technique. Suddenly, the rain hit the deck outside like a cloudburst. I guess winter's here all right, he said. Winter in July. I've got used to it, he said. I haven't seen the snow for 6 years. You've been out here for 6 years? No, but I was in Thailand before this. Doing research? Yeah, sort of. If he was usually as tongue-tied as this, it must have taken him a long time to unearth every fact he required. How are the urine statistics? More than 4 minutes 30 seconds today, he said. He added glumly, and I haven't reached the end, lifting the bourbon. When the next peal of thunder had trembled out, he went on, obviously straining after any subject to fill the pause. So you didn't like Formosa? No, of course it may be all right for fishing, I said. Fishing? He exclaimed with scorn. Smuggling is what you mean. I kept on hearing all the time about smuggling. Smuggling what? It's the national industry of Paraguay, he said. It brings in nearly as much as the mate, and a lot more than hiding war criminals with swift bank accounts, and a darn sight more than my research. What have they got to smuggle? Scotch whiskey and American cigarettes. You get yourself an agent in Panama who buys wholesale and he flies the stuff down to Asuncion. They are marked goods in transit, see? You pay only a small duty at the international airport and you transfer the crates to a private plane. You'd be surprised to see how many private Dakotas there are now in Asuncion. Then your pilot takes off to Argentina just across the river. At some estancia, a few hundred kilometers from VA you touch down, they nearly all have private landing grounds. Not built for Dakotas perhaps, but that's the pilot's risk. You unload into trucks and there you are. You've got your distributors waiting with their tongues hanging out. The government makes them thirsty with duties of 120%. And Formosa? Oh, Formosa for the small guy working himself up on the river traffic. All the goods that arrive from Panama don't go on in the Dakota. What do the police care if some of the crates stay behind? You'll buy scotch cheaper in the stores at Asuncion than you will in London, and the street boys will sell you good American cigarettes at cut rate. All you need is a rowboat and a contact. One day, though you get tired of that game, perhaps a bullet comes too close, and you'll buy a share in a Dakota, and then you earn the big money. You tempted Henry. I don't have the right training at the bank, I said. I didn't have the right training at the bank, I said, but I thought of my aunt and her suitcases stuffed with notes and her gold brick. Perhaps there was something in my blood to which a career like that might once have appealed. You know a lot about it, I said. It's part of my sociological research. Did you ever think of researching a bit deeper? The frontier spirit, Thule, I teased him, only because I liked him. I could never have teased Major Charge or the Admiral in that way. He gave me a long, sad look, as though he wanted to answer me quite truthfully. You don't save enough money in a job like mine to buy a Dakota, and the risks are too big. Henry, for a foreigner. Too big, Henry, for a foreigner. These guys fall out sometimes, and then there's hijacking. Or the police get greedy. It's easy to disappear in Paraguay, not necessarily disappear either. Who's going to make a fuss about an odd body or two? The general keeps the peace. That's what people want after the civil war they had. And that man makes no trouble for anyone. They don't have coroners in Paraguay. So you prefer life to the frontier spirit, Thule? I know I'm not much good for my girl, 3,000 miles away, Henry, but at least she gets her monthly check. A dead man can't write a check. And I suppose the CIA aren't interested. You shouldn't believe that nonsense, Henry. I told you, Lucinda's romantic. She wants an exciting father. And what's she got? She settled with me. So she has to invent things. A report on malnutrition is not romantic. I think you ought to bring her home, Thule. Where's home? He said, and I looked around the cabin and wondered too. I don't know why I wasn't quite convinced. He was a great deal more reliable than she was. I left him with his old Forester and returned to my cabin on the opposite deck. Thule was port and I was starboard. I looked out at Paraguay and he looked at Argentina. The guitar was still playing in the captain's cabin and someone was singing in a language I couldn't recognize. Perhaps it was Guarani. I hadn't locked my door and yet it wouldn't open when I pushed it. I had to put my shoulder to it to make it give. Through the crack I saw Wordsworth. He faced the door and he had a knife in his hand. When he saw who it was, he held the knife down. "Come in, boss," he said in a whisper. "How can I come in?" He wedged the door with a chair. He removed it now and let me in. "You've got to be careful, Mr. Pullen," he said. "Careful of what?" "Too much bad people on this boat. Too much humbug." His knife was a boy's knife with 3 blades and a corkscrew and a tin opener and something for taking stones out of horses' hoofs. Cutlers are conservative, and so are schoolboys. Wordsworth closed it and put it in his pocket. "Well," I said, "what do you want, you happy shepherd boy?" He shook his head. Ah, she's a wonder, your auntie. No one ever talked to Wordsworth like that before. Why, she come right up to me in the street outside the movie palace, and she said, clear the day, thou child of joy. And I love your auntie, Mr. Pullen. I'm ready to die for her any time she raises a finger and says, Wordsworth, you go die. Yes, yes, I said, that's fine, but what are you doing barricaded in my cabin? Come for the picture, he said. Couldn't you wait till we get ashore? Your auntie say bring that picture safe, Wordsworth, double quick, or you can no come here no more. A suspicion returned to me. Could the frame, like the candle, be made of gold, or did the photograph cover some notes of a very high denomination? Neither seemed likely, but neither was impossible with my aunt. I got friends in customs, Wordsworth said. They know humbug me, but Mr. Pullen, you a stranger here. It's only a photograph of Freetown Harbour. Yes, Mr. Pullen, but your auntie say... All right, take it then. Where are you sleeping? Wordsworth jacked his thumb on the floor. I'm more comfortable down below. There, Mr. Pullen. The folks, they sing and dance and have good old time. They don't wear no cut-ups, and they no don't go wash before meals. I don't like soap with my shop. Have a cigarette, Wordsworth. If you don't mind, Mr. Pullen, I smoke this here. He pulled a ragged, reconstructed cigarette out of a crumpled pocket. Still on pot, Wordsworth? Well, it's sort of a medicine, Mr. Pullen. I'm not too well these days. I got a lot of worry. Worry about what? Your auntie, Mr. Pullen, she always safe with old Wordsworth. I'm no cost her nothing. But she got a fella now. He cost her plenty, and he too old for her, Mr. Pullen. Your auntie no chicken. She need a young fella. You aren't exactly young yourself, Wordsworth. No got my big feet in no tomb, Mr. Pullen. Lack that one, and no trust that fellow. When we come here, he plenty sick. He say, please, Wordsworth, and he make all the sugar in the world melt in his mouth. He live in a low-class hotel, but he ain't got no money. They go to turn him out, and he were plenty scared to go. When your auntie came, he cry like a little baby. He no man, sure he no man, but he plenty mean. He say sweet things all right, but he always act mean. What she want leave Wordsworth for a mean man like that? Tell me that, man, tell me that. He let his great bulk down on my bed, and he began to weep. It was like a spring forcing its hard way to the surface, spilling out of the crevices of a rock. Wordsworth, I said, are you jealous of Aunt Augusta? Man, he said, she were my baby girl. Now she gonna bust my heart in bits. Poor Wordsworth. There was nothing more I could say. She want me quit, Wordsworth says. She want me for some bring you, and then she want me quit. She says, I give you biggest CTC you ever saw. You go back Freetown and find a girl. But I no want her money, Mr. Pullen. I no want Freetown no more, and I no want any girl. I love your auntie. I want to stay with her, like the song says, abide with me. Fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens. Oh, with me abide. Tears have no hindrance. Tears have no bitterness. But man, these tears are bitter, that's for sure. Wherever did you learn that hymn, Wordsworth? We always sang that in St. George's Cathedral in Freetown. Fast falls the eventide. Plenty sad song like that we sung there, and they all make me think now of my baby girl. Here lingering still we ask for naught, but simply worship thee. Man, it's true, but now she want me to quit and go right away and never see her no more. Who is this man she's with, Wordsworth? I won't speak his name. My tongue turn up if I speak his name. Oh man, I've been faithful to your auntie long time now. It was to distract him from his misery, and not to reproach him, that I said, you remember that girl in Paris? That one who won't do jig-jig? No, not that one. The young girl on the train. Oh yeah, sure, I remember her. You gave her pot, I said. Sure, why not? Very good medicine. You don't think I do anything bad with her? Why, man, she was the ship that's gone by one day. She too young for old Wordsworth. Her father's on the boat now. He looked at me with astonishment. You don't say. He was asking me about you. He saw us on shore. What he looked like? He's as tall as you, but very thin. He looks unhappy and worried, and he wears a tweed sports coat. Oh, God Almighty, I know him. I've seen him plenty in Asunción. You got to bloody careful of him. He says he's doing social research at work. What does that mean? He investigates things. Oh, man, you're right there. I tell you something. Your auntie's fella, he don't like that man around. I had meant to distract him, and I had certainly succeeded. He pressed my hand hard when he left me, carrying the picture concealed under his shirt. He said, Man, you know what you are to Wordsworth? You help of the helpless, Mr. Pullen. Oh, abide with me. So that was the end of this chapter 3, and I read chapter 4 soon. Bye-bye.